So today's video and letter have some lovely details. We have the wedding of Amy to Thomas Sloman on the 6th of September 1855 and moving house. Biddulph has bought a property on the Bulli Mountain and he's starting to move some supplies over there to set up home. So there's a lot happening. I hope you enjoy the story and a very rough sketch that I've done to entertain you while you listen. A letter, September 21st, 1855, from Ellardale Cottage, Appin. My dearest Amy, I hope that by this time you are safely arrived at your new home. You must have had a pleasant journey, as here the weather has been beautiful. I'm longing to hear all about it, how you like the place and people. Annie promised to write me a long letter as soon as she arrives, so tell her not to forget. There is little to tell you about Appin, as usual. Biddulph was very busy on Monday, as Nichols killed a calf. It was not a fatted one, to supply the men on the mountain with meat, and he had to fetch wood and water besides writing English letters. After the usual scrimmage, we got him off at about 11 o'clock on Tuesday, with 2 pack horses laden with provisions and Nichols' mare. Fanny is completely laid up for the present, as I knew would be the case, for she is not fit for a pack horse. He took Josh Nichols with him, and of course intended to reach the mountain that evening, but all the bridges had been washed away in the rains, and he had to encamp for the night with the surveyor's men who are making the road. He unloaded the horses, but did not hobble them properly, and Jack and the little mare quietly walked home before morning, leaving Nichols' mare, which had been more securely tied, to carry the whole load the rest of the way. Luckily, it was only a mile or 2, and Josh brought her back last Wednesday evening, looking none the worse for her exertions. Biddulph sent word he should be back on Saturday evening, so I hope he will. I see no prospect of the kitchen being built yet, as they are building a hut for stores instead. If it is up by November, it will be a wonder. Lucy, the servant, went down and washed at the waterhole yesterday to save bringing up water. She is much elated by one of the men having sent her a message by Josh, and I am thankful to say she has given up tears for the present. She does everything, and I have no trouble except the infliction occasionally of a string of Irish anecdotes. I sent Mrs. Parling the wedding cake by Biddulph, as I thought otherwise I might have to take it myself. I have seen nothing of her, and whether her curiosity about the wedding will be sufficient to make her ascend that spirited steed of hers and come up here remains to be proved. I have just been writing to Mrs. MacDonald. She wrote to me to inquire about your plans, as she had received no answer to her letters to you, and she wanted to see you before you went to Bathurst. I told her how short a time you were in Sydney after you were married, and that you could not manage to see her. I also gave her an account of the wedding, and informed her that I was not going home at present. I never half thanked you for my share of the smart things for the wedding. I wish you had got more for yourself and less for us. Remember me very kindly to Mr. Sloman, and with kindest love to Annie and yourself. Believe me, your very affectionate sister, Rachel Henning. December 14th, 1855. Redfern. My dearest Edda, it is most vexing that I've not been able to send off your parcel before, as most of the things are suited for winter, and now it will not reach you till the spring, but I could not help it. I was detained at Appin so long. Then when I got to Sydney, the case had to be made, and finally Mr. Hurst, who undertakes the sending off part, advised its going direct from here by the Wimmera, instead of being shipped to Melbourne, and thence on by one of the mail packets. There is something from each of us for you, my dearest Edda. I have marked them from whom they come, and though they will arrive late, I hope they will still be of use next winter. Amy sends you a cloth mantle, also a scarf for the neck. You must not think this latter old-fashioned. It is an old-fashioned revived again, but everybody wears them here and I think them pretty. There is also a brown ribbon which she brought from England with her. She told me to put it in as it may do for a common bonnet. She also sends her own and Mr. Sloman's likenesses. Hers is pretty good, though rather fierce-looking. Mr. Sloman should not have stuck a rose in his buttonhole. Annie sends a winter dress, also a collar and ribbon. I chose the two latter as well as Amy's scarf, so I must be considered responsible for them. I hope you will like them. I hope also you will like the silk dress. It is rather dark, but it was meant for winter, and you do not get such a choice of things here as you do in England. I could by no means get any trimming to match the peach-coloured stripe, so I got a black velvet trimming for jacket and sleeves. I think the colour will be very becoming to you. How I should like to see you in it. Do you remember my buying wools to make you an antimacassar when I was at Exeter with you? I did not finish it in time for the last parcel, so I send it now. You must have thought it a long time coming. Biddulph sends Mr. Boyce the skin of a duckbill as a specimen of the natural curiosities of Australia. I have peppered it well, and I hope it is too dry to produce another crop of those gigantic maggots of which the last consignment from Australia seemed chiefly to consist. He also sends Mr. Boyce a book of Australian views. They are not very splendid as works of art, but you will like to see them. I have put a cross against the places we know among them. We have sent Mamma's likeness that Mr. Boyce may copy it for you. I need not ask you to take care of it and send it back again. The copy will be better than the original if the dress and hair are modernised. I dare say that when Mr. Boyce sees the box unpacked, he will walk out in the garden in disgust, under the impression that Biddulph has favoured him with a present of a few of his old clothes which have become too bad for the bush. However, the ancient coat, trousers and waistcoat, which you will find packed up, are only sent as patterns. Clothes are so dear and so bad out here that he wants a lot from England. He means to get them from Manchester if he can, and has written to Mr. Ellsworth about it. But if he cannot manage it, Biddulph will ask you to get them for him, either from London or Taunton. The latter would be better, as jeans makes well and cheaply. He wants 3 shooting jackets, 1 black and 2 coloured, 2 pair of trousers and 3 waistcoats, 3 suits in all. But you had better not do anything about it till you hear from him himself. I don't think he will write to Mr. Ellsworth by this mail. When the clothes come out, we want several other things in the parcel. December 21st. I wrote so far nearly a week ago, and since that I have written to you by the lightning, which letter I suppose you will get first. Now I have to finish this in a great hurry, as I have just received a letter from Biddulph to tell me that he will meet me with a horse at Wollongong on Saturday, and as I shall have to start by the steamboat at 8 o'clock tomorrow morning, I have to finish this letter tonight, as the Wimmera will have sailed before I return to Sydney. With much love to Mr. Boyce and yourself, Rachel Henning.